morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. I hope it finds you well out there. How you doing? Yeah, summer in full effect. It's getting hot again. Yeah, going to be another one of those crispy weekends. Going to be right around 113, 114 degrees. But you know what? It's a dry heat. I just keep saying that. I'm excited tomorrow. I know that you guys don't care about this, but, you know, things that make me happy. Tomorrow, my golf group, we have a Friday game, and, you know, it's anywhere from, say, 12 to 24 of us will play, and on a Friday afternoon. And tomorrow is the Red Tee Box Challenge. And I am very excited because, well, I don't hit it that far. So we're going to go play from the ladies' tees. I know that's, you know, especially now, you're right, you know, wait a minute. No gender checks going on tomorrow. All of us are going to hit from the ladies' tees. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have a chance. At making some bucks. It's $100 a person. So it's not cheap. And it's a big turnout this week. So there's going to be a little bit of fun at stake. Maybe I'm trying to get my first hole-in-one. Never done it. The hole-in-one pot's like $5,000. So, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to buy some more Texit if things go well tomorrow. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And since we started with sports, if anybody cares, it is the trade deadline today for baseball. I know what? Is that still a thing? Do people still watch? Yeah. Our team was supposed to be good. The Rockies, you know, you Colorado, you guys are, yeah. They're no good. We were supposed to be, you know what? I'd rather just be no good than you're supposed to be good and then you weren't, right? Because that's what the Diamondbacks did. And the sad part is everyone wants our players, which tells you, okay, well, I don't know why you guys sucked, but thank you very much. So we're trading everybody, and by the end of the day today, I think our number one pitcher, our number two pitcher will be gone. Our third baseman's gone. Our first baseman's gone. Our utility hitter's gone, right? Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, not that matters. I did buy a Diamondbacks jersey this year, and that's what I deserve. So there you go. That the curse of me lives on. But enough about that. Jay Powell, the Fed, what happened? Why did the Dow fall? Why did gold and silver fall? Why did everyone freak out? Freak out? No rate cut. Right? Breaking news. Sorry, we'll get there. Donald Trump extending Mexico's 25% tariffs for another 90 days. So looks like, you know, tomorrow we're supposed to have all these deals done. Some of them not done. India getting slapped very hard yesterday, as it looks like maybe possibly they're going to actually try to squeeze Russia for real this time. We'll see, but I'm getting off track. They didn't raise rates, okay, as expected. There was not one, but two dissenters. So when you think of the Federal Reserve, they have these meetings. And again, there's 9 people that have votes. And apparently, because, you know, it's not rigged and not all make-believe, these 9 people always vote the exact same way, together. Right? If they're gonna cut rates, they all vote to cut rates. If they leave rates unchanged, they all vote to leave rates unchanged. A dissenter every once in a blue moon. You will get one person. I know what, I'm going to dissent here. And usually those dissenters come as they're cutting rates, right? And they want a bigger cut than what's coming, right? That's usually what it is. But the last time two people voted against the majority, you know how long you'd have to go back to find that? 1993. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? I mean, just if that doesn't tell you how big of a joke this all is. But yes, that's what we had yesterday. We had two dissenters. Obviously, both of them kind of jockeying to be in position to be in Donald Trump's graces and maybe be the new head of the Fed. And then Jay Powell had his commentary, and you know, people, oh, Jay Powell, he was tough. He wasn't dovish. He said, well, we'll wait for September. That's kind of what he said. I didn't see anything tough about it, but that really was the cover. That wasn't what really drove the market. I know people think it was. It wasn't. The Trump administration, while that was going on, right as that news was breaking, they broke through very smart. Remember copper? Copper was approaching $6. It's insanity pricing. 50% tariffs from the Trump administration. Very quietly yesterday, they said, yes, we're still tariffing copper 50%, with the exception of copper cathodes. Well, by the way, guess what? That's what's actually imported is copper cathodes. So everything but the most important thing gets a tariff. We'll be back. 800-951-0592, Joe and Jason on this Thursday. We'll get back to copper in a minute. Quick look in at the markets. The Dow is down 120. The S&P's up 10. The Nasdaq's up 100. It's kind of shocking because we had blowout earnings from Microsoft and Meta yesterday. As a matter of fact, throw Tesla out. The Mag 6 going crazy again. I know Microsoft now worth $4 trillion. It's AI this and AI that, but the market's kind of mixed right now. The 10-year note, well, it was down. I'm not kidding. It was down like 2 seconds and not down now. 438. My guess is the tariff news on India yesterday, Mexico today, probably a big reason for that. Gold's up $22 right now, right at $3,300. Again, there was a big sell-off yesterday. Silver. I'm just going to say this right now. Today is the day. Buy every ounce of silver you can get your hands on. Silver's down 59 cents. You're like, 59 cents, that's not a big deal, but it was down big yesterday. It's at $36.50. So think about it. Silver was almost $40. $36.50. All of this, and I mean all of it, had to do with copper yesterday. So don't be fooled here. It wasn't Jay Powell was tough or interest rates cut, no cut, dissents, no dissent. It was none of that. Simply put, the Trump administration decided that, whoops, I guess we can't really slap a 50% tariff on copper and have everything be okay. So they put a 50% tariff on semi-finished copper. Okay, well, that's great. What does that mean? I don't know. Listen, I'm no copper expert. I don't know. Apparently, nobody really imports semi-finished copper. The big thing in copper is these cathodes. The Trump administration is exempting those. So essentially, hey, here's the headline that I'm tariffing copper, but behind the scenes, I'm really not. They're saying that, hey, we may tax that, tariff that in 2027. But we'll get back to you. So copper fell the most on record yesterday, and that dragged down all the metals. Of course, silver and copper, when Jason and I have told you this before, they run together. They run together a lot. To give you an idea, copper's down to 437. Yesterday, it was almost, 580s. So big drops in the price of copper. And it really took silver, platinum, palladium, gold, took everything with it. Jump on silver immediately if you're a silver guy. 5-ounce silver bars, $200. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, $865. You want to buy a case? Save $5 more, $21,500. Right? Rolls of dimes, $140. Rolls of half dollars, $285. Rolls of quarters, $280. You want to do any volume? Call us. We'll give you a deal. We'll give you a great deal. And of course, the best deal in gold still, $20 gold pieces, $33.50. Just $50 over spot at 800-951-0592. So that was yesterday. We had jobless claims today. Tomorrow we'll get the government jobs number. Jobless claims, 218. Guess what it was last week? 218. Back down. Remember, we got into the 240s. That has gone away. Continuing claims, however, not falling. Still above the 1.9 million. But as expected with jobless claims, we'll see what the government jobs number is tomorrow. However, today, so think about yesterday, GDP 3%. Now, believe it or not, it wasn't 3%. But it was just like last quarter wasn't negative 0.5%. But all this had to do, believe it or not, with tariffs. And either people rushing to buy products before the tariffs come out or rushing to ship tariffs before they come out. Long story short, the number that came out yesterday of 3% was bad, right? Because Jay Powell kind of is right? You don't cut rates at 3% GDP, but it really wasn't. Inflation. Jay Powell yesterday all but said it. And again, I don't know why they kept saying, oh, hawkish Jay Powell. He had to defend himself. Everyone was like, well, what about these two dissenters? And what about Donald Trump? And, but anyway, he said yesterday, and I don't know how, because remember the last inflation reading, it was back to 3%. He's like, well, no, I still think inflation is going to be 2%. We need to wait a little more. We'll see. Well, guess what came out today? The PCE came out today. By the way, this is the Fed's apparently favorite number. Rose 0.3% month over month. 2.8% year over year on the core PCE. That was hotter than expected. And by the way, the highest number since February. So again, kind of like, well, God, do you cut? Do you really cut? When inflation, you say, is supposed to be 2%. This is your, quote, favorite number. It's 2.8. But believe me, if you listen to Jay Powell talk yesterday, the rate cut is coming. Service inflation accelerating in durable goods month over month. Household supplies seem to be getting hit with tariff trauma. Listen, Procter & Gamble was out yesterday. Nobody wants to talk about it. But their CEO said this. He just said, listen, prices are still going up. Yeah, we're raising prices again. Sales stink, but we're raising prices. Headline PCE up 3%. Or 3/10, not 3. Wow, that would be crazy. 0.3%. By the way, that's 2.6 on the headline. Also hotter than expected. The super core. This is for what I like to call, this is inflation for you homeless people. Okay, for all of you that are homeless, and why do I say that? Because this is ex-shelter. This is called the super core. So let's not count where you live, right? If we take that out, it was only 3.18% for the homeless people out there. So the guys that are on the corner, guys, you got to give them $1. You got to give them $1.30 because that dollar ain't going to go as far as it used to. Healthcare costs starting to pick up. I've already told you, listen, the healthcare companies, you have not seen price increases like you're going to see when your health insurance premiums come due. Wait till you see it. It's going to be massive, especially not so much if you work for a company. Your company will, they'll split it with you, whatever. But any of us out there, all of us self-employed people, that's the backbone of America. Yeah, get ready. Private worker wages up 4.7%. That was actually higher than it was the month before. It's only 4.5%. Government workers. Now, this one kind of blows my mind. I thought we were firing the government workers. Up 5.5%. By the way, also higher than expected. Spending and incomes were both up 4.7%. Well, that's nice. Hey, that's nice. I made an extra 4.7%, and Jason, I had to spend all of it that I earned. In other words, yeah, I made more money, but I couldn't save any of it. Why do I have a feeling that probably they just don't want to admit? Probably was more, yeah, I spent it all plus, oh, by the way, I have actually less money. But those were the numbers today. So tomorrow we get the government jobs number. I'll just say this. The lower the better, right? The lower the better. The higher, it makes it more difficult. I think Jay Powell, and this is what I believe, I think he wants to cut rates. But when he sees the data, he's like, I can't. Like, he even said it yesterday, right? Listen, the economy's, it's okay. Unemployment's low. We're at full employment, right? I mean, what do you want me to do?
I think Jerome Powell doesn't care. I don't think he cares. He acts like a man that's just doing his job. He doesn't have very much emotion. I know most Fed chiefs are not supposed to show emotion, but
correct.
He does it.
That's part of the job.
Ben Bernanke, he was a little fiery. He can see in his eyes he didn't like it when he's being pushed. Jerome Powell.
Well, Ben Bernanke, there were some rough times, right, with Ben Bernanke, right? He was the guy that got the financial crisis.
But Bernanke didn't really have a president that was crapping on him daily, right?
No, he didn't.
And Jerome Powell doesn't seem like he cares. I mean, I don't know how he got drug into that press op with Trump. And Trump pulls the paper out and says, look at how much, he's doing his whole, I'm with the people, I'm against the Fed sort of thing. Yeah, the whole thing, Trump's trying to keep some of his voter base. But Jerome Powell just looked at it. He's like, oh, yeah, this is for an additional building. This was 5 years ago. But I didn't see like that he even cared that he was even there saying that. That's an aha moment, right? That's a moment that, if Trump is this guy that you're frustrated with, you take advantage of that. He didn't even seem to care. So raise the rates, drop the rates, raise the same. He just barks out his whole nothing soup like Fed chiefs do, and he just moves on. I don't think he makes these decisions, Joe, like our government officials, our elected officials, and he will do whatever the financial system tells him to do, just like Trump does whatever his handlers tell him to do. So Trump just seems to like the position he's in. He likes to, shine on to the camera, whereas Jerome Powell probably wouldn't care if there wasn't a camera ever. He'd probably be happier if he didn't have to look at a camera.
Yeah, you're probably right on that, and it's interesting as I watch these inflation prices, and the stock channels in particular, I'll say the places that I go to get my news, are all acting like, oh, see, what this is nothing, it's fine, right? Why aren't we cutting it? It's 3%. I just have the feeling if a Democrat would be in office, the same places that I would go to would be screaming about the inflation, right? But instead, because they know what the president wants, it's interesting. They're going to cut rates, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. They should not. They are going to. And you know what? I retract that. They absolutely have to, and they should. Why do I say that? Because they've decided to spend, just go nuts. I mean, this refinancing from the Treasury Department, it's mind-blowing. All of it in short-term debt. All of it with the fact that essentially the Treasury is trying to do its own QE. The problem is the Treasury would like to buy back more stuff. They just can't. Because they got to borrow the money to buy it to begin with, right? Yeah, I know. It's a nonsensical world out there. When we get back, I'll update you on the Indian tariffs, India's tariffs. Does this? 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces, $33.50. Gold's $3,300. Want to do something in volume? Call. We'll put a pencil to it. We got silver right now. Silver. This is silver drop because of the copper market. Gold dropped yesterday because of the copper. All the metals dropped because of the copper market. It was a kind of a weird deal. The headline, Trump keeps 50% tariff on copper. Copper falls. You're like, what? I'll come to find out. Apparently, there's only one type of copper that really matters, and that was the one he said, no tariff on that. So copper down record amounts the last 2 days. Jump on silver right now. U.S. Silver Eagle rolls $865. They were over $900. $865. Buy 25 rolls or more case of silver, $21,500. Listen, I'm not changing my business. I know we're going to see 40. And I begrudgingly agree with Jason. If we see 40, we're going to see 50. Question will be how much over that. By this time next year, how about that? Hey, there you go. That's the easiest for one. That's a layup for me. This time next year, the question will be how is silver closer to 50 or closer to 100? I think that's where it's going to be. So $21,500 for a case of Silver Eagles, great opportunity. Hey, well, wait a minute, Joey. I don't got $21,500. All right, $200. $200. Get you a 5-ounce silver bar. $140 gets you 50 silver dimes. What is that? A little over 3.5 ounces for $140. You get a roll of quarters. Over 7 ounces of silver there, $280. Roll of $half. Same amount of silver as a roll of quarters, but only $5 more. At $285. All of those. Listen, do you know? I think $half rolls. I think we hit $315 last week, or was it Monday, Friday or Monday, something like that. $285. 800-951-0592 to give you an idea of why. Okay, and we'll get to India here in a minute. Take Canada, their largest gold producer. Which is Eagle Mines Ltd. They were out with their earnings. Okay, they were great. They were fantastic. Beat the estimate, right? They were expecting $1.83, got $1.94. Net quarterly income was up, record earnings, and higher gold prices, controlled production costs, all this great stuff. But guess what? They couldn't get more gold out of the ground. They even said, well, yeah, we almost got the same. It's just a little lower. Right? We did 1.74 million ounces. Awesome. You know what, of course, well, what did you do the last time? Well, we did 1.774. Whoops. Even with the record prices, Jason, they're getting every ounce of gold out of the ground that they possibly can. And yet, and this is not just them, I just use them as an example because it came out today. Everyone's the same. The only ones that say, oh, we got more gold this year are the only reason they got more gold is they bought somebody and threw that stuff onto theirs, right? If you compared apples to apples, oranges to oranges, I don't care what gold or silver company it was, Jason, almost across the board, every single one of them, they're getting less out of the ground than they did the year before, despite the record prices.
Right. Gold kind of hit the price level we're at in essentially April this year. It kind of got to where it's at.
Yeah, what is it? But we're probably about a 3 month, right? 3 month or so consolidation.
And in the previous 16 months, it's just been up. With silver coming down, I mean, silver was over $39 in the middle of last week when Joe was on his trip, and it's come back. And gold is gone sideways for the first time in the last 2 years. This is about as good of a pullback as we've seen. Gold going sideways, and silver finally decided to not go up because silver's been having its ride here recently. So the fact that it's back $2 or $2.50, not a big deal, man. And really for silver buyers, this is screaming to you to come in and take advantage. Because Joe, Bitcoin, for example, drops $20,000, and people get frustrated, and then it goes right back up, and there's going to be a test of the real assets and real price discovery. It happens once in a while, and it's usually in a market downturn. We are headed for it. We got a Republican that got a huge spending package in place, which is usually what it used to be. The Democrats would only do this, and then the Republicans tried to spend less. Well, we don't have that anymore. Now we're in the world of who can outspend the last guy. So that sugar high is going to end, I would say, next year. And I know Speaker Johnson said that they had 2 more large spending packages. If they can get those done before the midterms, the sugar high could last till the end of next year. We'll see. But this is going to push asset classes, including gold and silver. And then when that price discovery happens, when the real value happens, where are the ultra wealthy really going to keep their money? And they're already showing us, right? They're selling their stocks and waiting to buy them cheap. And they're buying gold. You think they're going to sell gold when the market goes down? Maybe, but I don't. These are central banks.
50% of sovereign wealth funds now say they're buying gold.
Yep.
Hedge funds are buying gold. Guys, I get it. You don't want to. You just don't want to, right? And here's the sad part: things are okay right now. And listen, they may be okay for another year. They may be. I'll start telling you right now. Why do you want to buy it today? And I'm going to tell you this really simple. Life after Trump. See, gold's going to go up the whole time Donald Trump's president. What are we going to do in 2027 when the deficits are enormous and you don't have the big ego of Trump? What about the midterm? What if they lose in the midterms even, right? Just going to tell you, this is your cheapest entry point you're probably going to see for a very, very, very long time. 0592. We're going to talk India next. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. So yesterday, while all of this chaos was going on, the Trump administration, well, the president said that India will be paying a 25% tariff plus a penalty. Now, I don't know what that means. To me, okay, you're going to pay more than 25%. Right? Now, India, remember, way back, they were supposed to be the first country. Oh, yeah, India, we're going to have a deal any second. Well, apparently, India, according to Donald Trump, has done relatively little business with us because tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. They have the most strenuous and obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers of any country. Now, in India, I will say this, India's tough. They don't like the rupee leaving India. And so it makes it very difficult. But the president went on. They have always bought a vast majority of their military equipment from Russia and are Russia's largest buyer of energy. At a time when everyone wants Russia to stop the killing in Ukraine, all things not good, India, therefore, will be paying a 25% tariff plus a penalty for the above. I don't know what to think here. Here's what I guess the president is saying to India. I don't know about the military stuff, right? I guess they could. The Russian stuff's probably cheaper. I don't know. That'd be my guess. When it comes to oil, what is India to do? This would be, just buy oil from us. We really don't have extra oil to buy, but okay. So let me ask you, if you were India, let's just pretend you're India for a minute. You could buy oil from the Russians, and I'll throw out a price, I don't know, $50, $60 a barrel, something like that. Or you can buy it out on the open market, whether that's from us or whoever, right? And pay, essentially, by the time you get the oil there, right, pay like $80 a barrel. I mean, what would you do? I don't know. It's going to be interesting if they really force China and India, or try to force China and India not to buy oil from Russia. You're going to do two things. Right now, oil is like $70 here. You will automatically bring oil prices to like $85, $90 a barrel, when India would be like, well, wait a minute, we could have bought it for $50. Why would we want to make it $90? I don't know. Very interesting comments from the president. I guess we'll see next week, because remember, he said Russia's got 2 weeks before they really drop the hammer. And the only place really to drop it on Russia is energy, isn't it? Yeah, commodities. I mean, I think the ultimate goal is not that there's some actual friction between these countries, but that there's a huge interest in getting Russia back into dollars at some point. You get Russia back into dollars, then you can start making those commodities being paid in dollars. And Russia's been out of dollars for such a long time. And so you try to ostracize the country and sanction it, and you blame the war on the behavior for the sanctions, but really it's about Russia's decided not to use dollars, and dollars could use a boost from a country like Russia, and so you get China and India and other countries not dealing with Russia, or forcing Russia to use dollars in some way, and then that's the end goal, I think, Joe. You got to keep the fiat currency balanced, right? Too many rubles
There's too many rubles. Economic balance, right? Ned Beatty and that piece that we play, they've taken money out, and now they got to put it back, right?
I've told our listeners, I know this. Oil is so much bigger than any other commodity in the world. It's not even close, right? Oil is huge. And when you talk about dollars, we talk about debt, right? I could very easily see just that coming out, which is we need to get this war to end so we can somehow get Russia back in, and as a way to do this, get them to start selling oils in dollars again, right? I don't know. Could be. We're going to have to wait and see here. So far, the Russians and even India right now, no one seems to be blinking. So we'll see. The markets don't react because, remember, they always think Trump's going to change his mind. Look at what just happened to copper yesterday. So we'll see. But he gave them, next week's the deadline. Things can be very, very different next week. And even, could he leverage that into a rate cut? And again, how would higher oil prices leverage into a rate cut? Right, because that would drive inflation higher. But, hey, we're doing this for the greater good of the world. We got to stop this war. Jay Powell, help everybody out because oil is going to get really expensive. Let's lower the rate so we can make other things cheaper. And I don't know, Jason, could be probably a combination of all the things we just talked about.
Well, if you can end the war in Ukraine and then start your war in the Middle East, then the oil prices will go up and there's your rate cuts. Wrong war right now, maybe, is what's going on.
Maybe it's the wrong war.
It's the wrong war.
Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment. 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces on sale, $33.50. Silver Eagles are on sale. Silver's on sale, period. Whether it's a 5-ounce silver bar, a roll of dimes, a case of Silver Eagles. Remember, volume discounts all over the board. Call us 800-951-0592. The Texas freight train. Boy, we're going to break another record. We're going to be at 12,000 miners tomorrow. Way ahead of schedule. Remember, the offerings get lowered after miner 15,000. If you are in before the 15,000th miner, you're grandfathered in. You keep what it is, how it was set up here. This allows, what is the big change is this first 15,000 miners, you're able to actually earn more coins or get more hash power without having to do anything, without actually having to sign people up. Just yesterday alone, which wasn't, we signed up, 4 or 5 people, but 10 people under our umbrella got free hash yesterday for doing nothing. And it grows every day. That ends. I thought we'd have 2 weeks. Jason, it looks like at the pace that they're adding miners, you probably got to the end of next week, right? Next Sunday. Maybe, you got a week, maybe 10 days before we hit miner 15,000. So if you're going to get in, do it today. Remember, you got 30 days to upgrade and get bonuses. Right now, the only bonuses they're giving, 5 seats, 1 free seat, hash, whatever you want to call it. 9, you get 2 free. Remember, each one is $995, so you can do the math. $995 times. You have 30 days to upgrade. Also, for the month of August, any of you that didn't get the 9-pack, if you buy up to the 9th seat from right now through the end of August, so you only got 1 month to do this, they will give you the 2 other pay centers that come with the 9 packs. For those of you that, what does that mean? Well, if you bought less than 9, you got 1 coin that you got in the mail that has your coins on it. When you buy a 9-pack, you get 3 coins. Only one of them has coins going on it, but as you add people or people get placed under, all of a sudden you get coins. Matter of fact, I had one person got one of their coins turned on yesterday. They didn't add anybody, but we put him under there. He got one of his 9-pack coins turned on. He's going to get 2 coins now, getting coins. So if you want to upgrade to a 9-pack, you have till the end of August, and they'll give you the 2 pay centers. Before, you can still upgrade to the 9 shares. You didn't get the other pay centers that went along with it. And as an incentive, this is the crazy part, they're going to put them up where you were when you bought your first shares. So the chances of that, points rolling up and turning on pay centers increases dramatically, right, Jason? Because you're way higher up the chain.
Absolutely. You just first of all, the asset's really good if you want to buy it and just wait. But I've noticed a lot of the people that said, I'm just going to buy it and hold it, the more you learn about it, and then you start to figure it out a little bit. You don't have to do it really fast at first. You can do it slow. But if you want to do it fast, it can be tremendously beneficial. If you know this space, learn the crypto space, there's a lot that can be done with this show. It's a great opportunity.
800-9510.